welcome to the Instagram Stories for Monday, January 29th. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. Before we get into Masari Monday, which is what we normally do on Mondays, there's some Instagram news that we have to talk about. First is Instagram's new Flipside feature, which has been spotted out in the wild. This comes from a Threads post from social media expert Matt Navarra. I will link to it in the show notes, but here's what it is. Flipside allows users to create a new private side to their profile where they can post more candid and personal photos for a subset of their friends. This feature essentially produces Finstas. Within Instagram, the feature is explained as a new space for just you and your friends where only the people you choose can see this side of your profile and what you share here. So the concept is to get to a user's flip side, you'd swipe down on their profile to be flipped over to the other side, so to speak. This is hard to explain, but I kind of imagine it like the upside down in Stranger Things, for whatever that's worth. And in other Instagram news, they're adding some new protections to keep teens safe on the platform. I will let the head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, explain that.
I've talked to a lot of parents about their concerns about their teens using Instagram and social media more broadly. And one of the concerns I hear repeatedly is questions about who can message their teens. So today we're announcing a new default setting for teens around messaging that makes Instagram safer for them. For a long time now, adults have not been able to message teens that don't follow them or aren't connected to them in some other kind of way. So only accounts that teens follow or are connected to are going to be able to message those teens. The other change we're announcing today is over the next few weeks, if a teen that has a supervised account, that is an account where their parent is connected to their account directly, wants to change a setting, like who can message them, what their privacy of their account is, what their sensitive content control setting is, to anything more open, their parent is going to have to approve that. Because ultimately, we believe that parents know what's best for their individual child. And we want to do what we can to empower parents to make those decisions, to shape Instagram into the best possible and safest possible experience for their teen. So let me know down below in the comments what you think and what other features you'd like to see us build. See you all next week. Peace.
Anything that Instagram does that keeps teens safer on the platform, I am all for. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to dive into the Masari Monday questions, so stick around. And we're back. Okay, let's get into the questions. The first, how can I improve my reach? This is what we all want to know. There's no real good answer.
Unfortunately, there's no easy answer to this question. The key thing is to continue to explore. Everyone's audience is different, and what your followers are interested in will change over time because the world changes. And so you're going to need to find ways to express yourself on the platform that are aligned with who you are, but that are also interesting to your followers. And you probably need to find new ones over time as they change and you change. So it's an iterative process, which requires a lot of energy and a lot of thought.
And the next question, do I have to use stories? It feels intimidating to post in that raw format. Before I let Adam Mosseri answer that, I'll say, no, of course, you don't have to use stories. You don't have to do any of this. Nobody's making you do anything. But keep in mind, the likelihood is that stories are really only going to be seen by people who follow you. It's not like stories are going to be amplified in the algorithm to people who don't see you. That is very unlikely to happen. So keep that context in mind. Here's Adam's answer.
You absolutely don't have to use it. Stories is a great way to share behind the scenes content that is maybe a little bit more raw and authentic, but you feel less like it needs to stick around forever. But if you don't have that kind of thing that you want to share, if that's not aligned with what you want to get out of Instagram, don't do it.
Let's go on to the next question. People can't find my broadcast channel. What's the best way to promote it? Here's Adam's answer.
You have a link for your broadcast channel, so you can post a sticker with that link in your stories, or you can actually just send that link wherever you want to send links. And generally, I think that's the best, most effective way of promoting your channel.
I would agree with that. The next question, sticking on the theme of broadcast channels, how often should I post on my broadcast channel? I think it's whenever you have something worthy that the audience in your broadcast channel would want to know about or see. Here's Adam's answer.
There isn't a perfect answer for this one either. I do think broadcast channels are tough because they're not actually for a wider audience. They're for a subset of your followers that are interested in letting you actually buzz their pocket. So the more you send to it, maybe the smaller that group of people would be, but the deeper the engagement. So it depends on what you're trying to optimize for. You're trying to optimize to reach the most people possible, or to get to a deeper relationship with a smaller set of people. But I would just be intentional upfront about which direction you want to go, and then test your way there.
Now let's talk about another feature about scheduling posts. This is important because if you're making a post and you are working on it at 2 o'clock in the morning, it probably doesn't make sense for that post to go live at 2 a.m. It probably makes more sense for that post to go live when the majority of your followers are going to be awake and on Instagram, which I'm guessing would probably be during the daytime hours. So Instagram has the feature where you can schedule posts. But apparently not everyone has access to that feature all the time. The question, why hasn't my account got the schedule post feature yet?
Currently, scheduled posts is actually limited only to professional accounts, so make sure you have one of those. Generally, we don't like to limit features to account types because it creates an incentive to mislabel your account, which can become problematic in other ways. So we would like to actually extend this to all accounts over time. It's just not something we've been able to ship just yet.
I feel like his point about people mislabeling their accounts to get features is a subtle jab at the people who have accounts that don't have access to music because they are business accounts. So therefore they change them into creator accounts. I think that's what he's subtly saying, not saying there. And the last question we're going to do today, what do you want Threads to be long term? What does success look like? I think this is a fascinating question because, frankly, I don't see Threads and X, Twitter, coexisting forever. I think at one point in the future, at some point, one of those two is no longer going to exist. That's my guess. Here's Adam's answer.
We've been focused for the last 6 months on being the best place for public conversations online and essentially a better working, less angry version of Twitter. But as we've gone into it and built up momentum, we've learned a lot. So one of the things is that it's a little bit less about conversations, so those definitely happen and they're great, and a little bit more about commentary. Like you share a photo or a video on Instagram, you share a thought or an idea on Threads. And so what can we do to facilitate healthy commentary, rich, vibrant, diverse communities, engaging on those ideas? And how do we want to take that forward over the next couple of years is something that we're talking a lot about. Maybe we're a place for commentary about creativity. It might be a nice sort of sister to Instagram, but we'll see. But we're talking about it right now with the team.
That's going to do it for today's episode. As always, thank you so much for listening, and be sure to come back next time for more social media strategy, Instagram news, TikTok news, other things that you need to know.
Instagram news got you covered, sometimes even TikTok. Relevant platforms in the metaverse ahead of the wave without a break or a pit stop. Still waiting for Zuckerberg to give me the big job. Pause. Use trademarks and logos with Insta's permission, of course. If you like the show and you gain some good info, maybe leave a review. It's a type of applause. Just drop me a message if you want to collab. If you got some good content or you want to run ads, at Daniel Hill Media is where I am. TikTok, Facebook and Instagram.